We are getting ever nearer the end of the liturgical year. In that 3-year lectionary cycle, we have been in year B all of this year, and so at the beginning of Advent, on the first Sunday of December, which happens to be actually December 1st this year, we will be in year C. But here we are in the very last stages of this liturgical year, kind of closing the books on this. And the readings recently have been from Hebrews, talking about Christ's sacrifice, and some of Jesus' own prophetic words, talking a little bit about end times, or talking about the meaning of sacrifice and his own sacrifice for the world. So we'll be picking up on some of those things, even as we're starting to lean into the other important theme for the year, which is stewardship and Thanksgiving, having Thanksgiving Day coming up quickly upon us, and really using that as a time when we can think about all that we're thankful here at St. John's. We're going to be coming in singing one of the most popular, beloved hymns in the hymnal, Glorious Things of Thee Are Spoken, with that familiar tune by Franz Joseph Haydn. So a tune by a German, but a text that is very much by an Englishman, John Newton. John Newton was a preacher and a thinker and a writer and composed a lot of hymns. And he collected a lot of those hymns in a book that he called the Olney Hymns, named after the parish that he served. And the first time that this was printed was in the late 17th century. It was printed in this collection called the Olney Hymns, Glorious Things of Thee Are Spoken, a meditation on a passage from Isaiah. At the offertory, the choir will be singing a really beautiful setting of an ancient prayer, O saving victim, opening wide the gate of heaven to us below, by the American composer Roland Martin. Has a very sumptuous, beautiful lyrical melody. And at the communion, the choir will be singing a very famous piece, Mozart's Ave Verum Corpus, again talking about the meaning of the sacrifice that Christ made for us. And this setting by Mozart came from the last months of his life in 1791 and is considered to be one of the most beautiful melodies ever written. And many scholars really see in this a little bit of an antecedent of the music that he wrote in the Requiem, which of course he did not finish in his lifetime. But the clarity of expression and the true feeling of devotion is all through the measures of this short little work. And at the end, we'll be singing a hymn that is really one of our treasures in our hymnal, All My Hope on God Is Founded. And that's a text by another English clergyman, Robert Seymour Bridges. It drew its inspiration from a German poem by Neander, but it's really Bridges' own creation. And at the behest of another clergyman and a school chaplain, the composer, the 20th century composer Herbert Howells, was invited to set this poem to music. And the story goes, Herbert Howells told the story later, that he received this invitation in the mail and was opening the mail over breakfast and reading through it and going through his mail, and he opened up the envelope and read this invitation to sing or to write a tune for this text. And he wrote it right there at the breakfast table without even getting up, and just wrote it right on the back of the envelope. It's a marvelous tune. It's very strong, and it's for congregation voices in unison. And one thing that's really interesting is if you look, the melody does not have any sharps or flats in it at all, and yet in the accompaniment is extremely rich and has lots of sharps and flats in it. What a thrilling and bold way for us to leave and process out of the church singing All My Hope on God Is Founded. So we hope that you will join us as we celebrate sort of the end of the Christian year here at St. John's, worshiping with us in the chapel at 8 or in the church at 10:30, and of course always available for us on YouTube.